SMEs have not really access to the financing world outside of the banks. If they are needing growth capital, they have difficulties to find. So this is where we are focusing on to provide growth capital for these SMEs. Hello, everybody. SMEs is a big subject in the, let's say, in the economy. It's the backbone of the economy, mainly in our areas like Germany, Switzerland, and of course Austria, but also in other countries. Why SMEs and private market investments into SMEs? SMEs, based on my own experience as an entrepreneur, which founded a company and then run it for 20 years, SMEs have not really access to the financing world outside of the banks. They are looking for that. They maybe go to the bank. If they are needing growth capital, they have difficulties to find. On the other hand, on the startup area, there is the financing quite widespread, not in the growth area. So this is where we are focusing on to provide growth capital for these SMEs, which have a fast growth path. I want to show you quickly, because we just have a few minutes, on a case which we did in the last 2.5 years, how we are doing that. It's a company called Ziehbrunner. This was an SME, or is an SME. They have been in the market for 12 years, being in an engineering company in e-mobility, so a subject which is now really boiling up. They provided services for BMW, for the i3, by example. They invented the post car from the Swiss Post and so on. But then they came to the conclusion that they want to build their own products, and this is why they approached us then and came to us and asked for growth capital. What we then did basically is help them to grow. I will show you how this works. The one part is what they do is electrical trucks. So they started with this the picture up there in the left-hand side with electrical garbage trucks were the first ones which brought them to the street. Then went into other vehicles as well, in DC chargers and batteries as well. This was under the name Futuricum. Maybe some of you have seen that. So why did they came to us? They wanted to be the leader in this area. So they had a very, very deep technical know-how. Were about 12 people at the time. They were really first mover in this area. They even won now just a few weeks ago a world record in electrical trucks. So they did more than 1,000 kilometers with one battery charging. So they were technically very good, but they needed basically growth capital to grow their business out from the engineering into a production company. So what did we do with the whole case? So the evaluation started beginning of 2018, then it went up to 2018 Q4, where we invested through an AMC, together with Gen2 and CAT Financial Products, where we provided growth capital for them. We added on a new CEO, because there have been three brilliant engineers, but not able to really move the company forward or bring it to the next level. So we hired a CEO, which also was then able to get some shares. We defined the strategy, and when we started to work with them very closely, what we normally do with these companies, we defined a target. Basically, we trimmed the company to be an interesting target for the OEMs. So this happened until 2020, technology doing and so on. So in all these different fields, marketing, products, processes, and so on. So this is where we support them. So we're not only providing capital to these companies, we help them with know-how, networks, and so on, to move them forward. By doing that, we came to a strategic conclusion together with the company that there is a phase one in this market, was a phase one in this market, where the OEMs, the big truck manufacturers like Volvo, MAN, Scania, and so on, were not able to deliver electrical trucks because their development time is just too long. So Ziehbrunner was able to do that. So we said, okay, we can get market share, sold over 100 of these trucks before the OEMs entered the market. And then, of course, when the OEMs are in the market, they will have no chance to be in the standard electrical trucks market. So we said, okay, next step is they need to go into a niche market, in a niche market position, and really cooperate with an OEM. Because if the OEMs are coming big scale, they will have not the possibility to be in company. So by doing this strategy or defining the strategy together with our customer, with Ziehbrunner and the team there, we said, okay, what is needed to go to the next step? So meaning, okay, how can the company be attractive for an OEM? in an exit case. And this is what we then did over the years 2019, 2020, where basically we trimmed the company to be an interesting target for the OEMs. So this happened until 2020. We did a lot of corporations. BMW was the supplier. They've won a lot of prizes. They did ISO certification, so the whole structure was built. We grew the company from 10 or 12 people up to 120 employees in this time, in these 2 years. So we really brought this company forward by supporting them. More about how to invest in SMEs, in Swiss SMEs or DACH region SMEs. This is a possibility which we can show. So it took a bit longer. Finally, Volvo took a 60% share of the company, bought us out as investors. The owners are still in the company. They're still running the company. And at the end of the day, it was a success for all stakeholders. If you look at the investors, though, they got the multiple of 13, which is definitely an extraordinary case. It will not be in all our cases like that, but this was definitely a very good one. The owners and the founders, they did a partial exit, so they got cash out, but still own 40% of the company. So they are still running the company together with Volvo now. Volvo guaranteed that the company stays in Switzerland. They want to grow jobs they already did now. And of course, for the company, it was securing the position and the market position and also securing the employees. Volvo even paid to all the employees by the exit an additional monthly salary because they were eager to keep them. So this is just in short, as we have not so much time, basically the process from start, from the investment, then up to strategic development or definition, and then supporting such companies to grow. This is the base model we are doing. We have done now 10 investments. One of them is the exit now here. And we're just doing more. So if you are interested in knowing more about how to invest in SMEs, in Swiss SMEs or DACH region SMEs, this is a possibility which we can show you.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you. And I'm really happy Gentoo could be part of this project. And were you specifically looking for the company that would create an impact?
Yeah, we are looking always, let's say, for areas which, provide a good growth potential. E-mobility was one of these cases. We look more into these, let's say, the environmental impact. So we were under the assumption that this will have a big impact, the electromobility. This is why we then were looking actively for such companies.
Okay, and why design work? Do you have some kind of a framework that allowed you to screen for this specific company to invest into?
Yeah, we are a team of 8 people, mainly entrepreneurs like myself. So all of us have networks in the SME environment. And basically, we source the projects through this network, which we have.
Okay, and just the last question: what about design work? Are they happy that they chose you for the investment and growth advice? And what probably drove them to you for this advice? Yeah,
that's a good question. We get a lot of these questions being asked. The reason why these companies are going with us is the combination of bringing financing and bringing expertise and know-how and help them to grow. These companies which are in this fast growth path, they know that they are missing structures, they know that they're missing also organization things, they know that they may be missing marketing and so on. And what we provide them is the group of the 8 entrepreneurs is one source, and we have an additional advisory board with all these possibilities, by example, digital marketing to speed up the growth. Design actually had an investor when we came on board. We were a bit late, so basically they decided already for an investor, but the other investor was a pure financial investor, was a private equity house just doing financial advice, not really hands-on advices, and this is why then they swapped to us.
Thank you so much for this presentation.
Okay, thank you.